another great episode in the books. Hey guys, welcome to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and this is our recap of the 4th episode of the 2nd season of Titans, Aqualad. And it was great. Before we dive in, don't forget to press that like and subscribe button, and if you don't ring the bell, you won't see any more updates. And make sure you hit the comments below and let us know what you think of the show. I really can't tell you how excited I was for this episode by the end. Drew Van Ecker's Aqualad was near perfect, and the chemistry between the team is incredible. So let's just run it down. The episode opening with a flashback of Deathstroke just annihilating his targets was pretty great. Pretty much established him as a murderous, effective assassin. We also get a little bit of his backstory in meeting his family, specifically Jericho. Not a lot was provided there, just that they were basically in hiding from him and clearly afraid of him. The opening scene with the team rescuing the family in the alley was awesome, and the chemistry between these guys was great. I enjoyed seeing them use their powers, and it was a much lighter version of the Titans than we're used to with the current group. Let's take a second to call out Drew Van Ecker's Aqualad in this episode. Now for most people, the extent of their experience with Aqualad was the 1967 cartoon series and maybe Garth's appearance on Young Justice. Van Ecker makes the character really likable, and makes his Atlantean heritage seem cool, all while playing into some of the jokey tropes about the Aqua characters. It's really sad we're not going to see more of him in this series. I guess it's possible we get another flashback in a future season where Van Ecker can come back as Aqualad, but as we all already know, he doesn't even make it out of this episode. Probably the biggest part of this episode was the Garth-Donna relationship, and how that worked out. Donna and Garth clearly have some long-term romantic tension they haven't worked through, and this is their primary focus of the episode. Watching these two do their dance around each other, trying to avoid the reality of the relationship, was pretty interesting and mirrors real life in many ways. We do get a little bit of an expansion on Themyscira, and realize there is an embassy there and a Julian character who's serving as a contact for Donna. I don't think we've seen the last of her. All this episode was building towards the tragedy that we knew was coming, we just didn't know what. And it appears to be the death of Aqualad. Garth stopping Donna on the tarmac to declare his love for her and to try to get her to stay was quite beautiful. It worked, he truly felt for the characters, and it set up the incoming tragedy perfectly. Garth's death actually hurt. Now, as the tragedy scene worked out, you realize that Deathstroke is there to kill Donna. But ultimately, Garth takes the bullet. This landed on me, and I imagine most of the audience, like a ton of bricks. It really worked, made you feel for both Gar and Donna, and the impact of the tragedy was wholeheartedly felt. One of the bigger things we take from this episode might be the darkening of Dick Grayson. You see a much lighter guy throughout the episode than we've seen in all the other episodes of the series. But a particular scene with Dawn where she tells him he doesn't have to be Batman in the middle of the episode turns at the end, then she delivers a line that almost sounds ominous. After the death of Gar, when they figure out who killed him, they're all standing in Titan's Tower, and Dawn looks at Dick and says, "Now is the time, be Batman." I gotta say, I can't wait for next week. We didn't get any progression of the current storyline, but this flashback story had me fully engaged in the episode. Hopefully, we only live in the past for one or two more, but seeing the Titans and how they formed and what happened is clearly setting Deathstroke up as the baddie for the rest of the season. We did get a little more on Dr. Light, and I find him a fairly interesting character, but not very compelling. He's too much of a mustache twirler for me, and I'm not really too into him overall. The impact on all the characters is pretty profound, and if you've been watching the series, you start to understand why they act the way they do. Donna not wanting to be part of the team, Dick being much darker, and even Hank, who was clearly one of Gar's best friends, appears to be a much lighter version of himself in their flashback. I don't really know where this is going, but clearly they defeat Deathstroke, or at least send him into hiding, only for him to return and try to take down this new team. So what did you guys think of this episode? And is there anything about this particular one you didn't like? Because I really couldn't find very many of those details. Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like below, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.